Hi, welcome to the Coffee Chat Show here on Buzzin Pattaya, the show where we talk about things that are happening right here, right now, as well as general news, tips, information and advice. Now today, I'm in Soi Buakhao, down Soi 15. I'm in Korandos, and joining me is the owner, Rocky. How you doing, buddy?
Thank you very much, Trevor.
It's good to see you. How you
Good to see you. Yes, not too bad.
Yeah. It's a bit busy out there today.
It's good. You're starting to see a few more people around now, which is it's good for the town. But yeah, unfortunate to the COVID scenario. But yeah, we're starting to see a few more people, which is good.
Good. And I mean, we're going to talk about a lot more in detail about Korandos and everything that goes on here, etc., etc. But before we get into that, I mean, tell me a bit about yourself. I mean, Rocky, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Melbourne, Australia.
From Melbourne, Australia?
About 40 minutes out, a place called Geelong, actually. So
okay. And when did you first come to Pattaya?
2010 was my first trip.
2010,
yeah, to Pattaya.
Cool, that was just before me then.
Just a long time ago. It was just a holiday. We went to the full moon party, and then I had a friend that said, let's go to a place called Pattaya, and then
when you came here, what did you think?
Oh, it was a kid in a candy store. It's paradise, but no, it was great. And then I come the first time, and then it wasn't probably a year after I come back again, and just I just fell in love with the place.
Yeah, so. I mean, so many of us do, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Even everyone that's watching, we've all got a common interest in. You come here for the first time, and it's funny. I did a video not so long back where I was saying that did your first visit here meet your expectations? I mean, when you came here, did it match your expectations? Did you know what you were walking into?
For me, the full moon party was the biggest highlight for me, because I thought that was what I was coming to Thailand for.
Yeah,
but it wasn't until we come to Pattaya after the full moon party.
Yeah.
So, and I seen, it was just crazy. You're out every night. It's like a party every night, where we used to have to wait till the weekend back home, and you go out on a Friday, Saturday night, where here it was happening every day.
Yeah. So, was the full moon party the one in Koh Phangan?
Yeah, Koh Phangan. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. So
amazing, guys! If you've been to the full moon party in Koh Phangan, drop a comment below. Share your experiences. What was it like? I mean, in terms of the actual party, I mean, was it as full? I mean, I've never been. I mean, was it as full on as it looks?
It was. It was. Look, back then, I went with one mate, but we met some other friends along the way, and it was the night just turned into day, and then
no sleeping.
Before you know it, you're hungover for another 2-3 days, and no, it was good. Definitely an experience.
Yeah, brilliant, fair play. And so, when you came here to Pattaya, I mean, when you're talking about 2010, I mean, how did you find it in comparison to, like, obviously, you've been around the world, you've traveled different places. I mean, I know it's obviously, like you say, a kid in a candy shop, but in terms of the infrastructure here and what it's all about, I mean, how did you find it?
Well, I have been a lot of places around the world, like Europe. I did a Kentucky tour. I travelled many places. That sort of stopped when I discovered Pattaya.
Yeah.
Which, look, it's just the vibe. I think where I am, especially from Geelong, it's a smaller country town or city, but
wow,
you work, you go to the gym, and then you wait for the weekend to do anything. Where here it was just full of life people, even the markets and the buzz, on the streets, and meeting different people. At home you tend to meet the same people. We don't have a lot of tourists unless they're in the actual tourist destinations, but here you're meeting different people each time, and from all around the country, which for me, I enjoy.
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said about it was just full on, because what people maybe that haven't been here for the very first time, have never come here, what they don't understand is every day is a Saturday.
That's right, it is. It looks like a New Year's, really, but and that's what I enjoy now, looking back at people that come into the bar for the very first time, and it's their very first time to Thailand. You see that excitement in their face and that liveliness that that I had the first time.
Yeah.
And people will tell you that it's changed and it's it's not the same, but you get that new guy that's coming in for the first time. He knows no better, or she knows no better, and they've got that same excitement as what I had, just say, in 2010, and it's still continued to have that.
I mean, it has changed. There's no doubt about that. But you've hit the nail on the head there when you say about someone that's come here for the first time. This is still, even right now, an incredible city to come to.
It's undescribable. I've been telling mates back home for years to come, and they didn't. And then when I finally set up the bar, a few of them did come, and and they were regretting that they didn't come years ago. But
and did you find, like, when you used to tell your mates back home before, they'd ever go, yeah, whatever, Rocky, you know, you're lying, mate, it's not like that, and you think, no, this really does happen, this is what this is about?
Yeah, look, I think that there is that, you know, belief, but there is that little bit of deniability, because as much as you do explain it, you can't until you've actually lived it and been here, and you know, and everything's at your fingertips.
I mean, when I first came here, I had a bad neck.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. It was because I'd walk down like a soy, like soy 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever, and girls would be staring at me, and they'd say, hello, sexy man, and I kept turning around to see who she was talking to.
In, yeah.
And I realised, hang on, they're talking to me. It's like crazy.
Well, our first experience was down at Walking Street, one of the frog bars, you know.
Oh, a lot of people, Simon's Complex.
Yes, a lot of people, you'd walk down there and you'd have everyone cheering and, you know,
you'd scream, wouldn't you?
You'd think you're a little bit of a rock star. It's a bit intimidating, if anything, sometimes. And, you know, but it's good. It's a good experience, and you just sort of, the more times I kept on coming here, it was just, the more I used to discover, and then, you know, and then your patterns sort of change, and you make friends that that were travelling here at the same time as what you were, and you just look forward to coming back every time. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you came here, obviously you've been here many times as a tourist.
Yeah.
When did you make the decision to come and live here?
In 2000, I had pizza restaurants. That was my thing back home. So I was in the pizza game, and
you don't look like you eat a lot of pizza. I look like I eat loads.
Fat-free pizza.
I need some of them.
In moderation, everything was good. So in 2016, we had I had 3 shops, and then we had sold one, and then in 2016, I sold my 3rd shop. And we just had the 2 operating, and because I'd already made up my mind that I wanted to eventually live here and do something. So 2016, we sold the shop it was actually last week.
Oh wow.
Last week in 2016, and then I was here for April of 2016, and I just holidayed for about 4 months, 6 months, tried to get a grasp on what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Went home for a little bit, and then I made the final move in 2017 of June. Yeah.
No regrets?
No regrets at all.
None at all?
No. It's challenging, you know, and it's a lifestyle. It's what you make of it. This town, you can really get caught up and lost in the party side of it, but then there's also the relaxing side of it too. If you do want to go to the beach, and we've got great weather here all year round.
Yeah,
so,
very lucky.
It's good.
So, 3 pizza restaurants.
Yep.
And then you've come here, and now we've got Korandos, which is, I know you have a side of food which we're going to discuss in part 2.
Yeah.
But what was the change from pizza to a bar? Because, you know,
if you had have asked me if I would ever end up in a bar, I would have said no. I'd been approached and asked to manage bars, and I'd always said no with that. And in 2017, I originally was going to, I started managing a restaurant on the dark side, which was called Live Foods.
Oh, Live, up on Soi Buakhao Pattaya.
Yes, but when my business partner and a go-go owner at the time, they were basically going to do the joint venture, and they were going to merge. And they were going to get me to manage it, basically.
Oh, right.
So I come here, I dealt with the builders and the suppliers, and we're going to put food into it and basically do all the renovations. That fell through like 2 months later. They didn't follow through with the building and the improvements that they were going to make. So I went and worked out at Live, and I managed that for a couple of months with the intention, you know, I preferred the restaurant game. Yeah. So I was going to basically start up another restaurant in Pattaya essentially. But that fell through, and then my business partner, he got back onto me from here, and he goes, well, why don't you take on the renovations and do it yourself? So I thought about it, and I thought, well, I'd done all the renovations in 2018, took 2 months. I put the kitchen in, and so we're still here three years later.
And to be fair, I mean, you're doing well, aren't you? I mean,
yeah, look, it's taken some time. So in 2018, it was basically my business partner has been on for 6 years, but he works overseas, so he gets out here maybe 4 times a year. So he couldn't be here to take on the workload and everything like that. So that made it a little bit hard. So having a partner on that was here full time, and with my restaurant experience, so forth, and our food is just basic, comfort food that complements the bar. And so I made the renovations and cleaned a few things up, put a kitchen in. And then it's just gradually grown within the 3 years, and prior to COVID, things were really positive for us and really good. So
I mean, COVID has obviously hurt and destroyed a lot of businesses. I mean, the nice thing is that we're sat here today in the aftermath of what's been the second phase, and you're still here. You're doing really, really well. I mean, in terms of the bar, I mean, why was the name Korandos?
Korandos is my business partner's name, so that comes from him. There's no other logic behind it, really.
Right.
And there was no point in me changing it, because he already had a customer base that was, he had a lot of friends that from America, from England, from all around the world that used to come and visit him when he's in town. So there was no point really changing the name. It was more just growing onto the product that we already had, basically. We're putting in some food, some girls, and giving customers some good service. Yeah,
I mean, we were talking before we made the video about the service, and I want to touch on that in a bit, because it's a really important aspect that you bring to the table. I mean, in terms of the location, I mean, one of the things that surprised me, and I have to congratulate you as well as admire you, is the fact that anybody that would be in their right mind, I would say, would come into this city centre and go, right, I need to be as close to LK Metro, as close to Soi Buakhao as physically possible, or on Walking Street, because they are the go-to areas. And yet you have gone the complete opposite in terms of you're in Soi 15. And if you're not sure where Soi 15 is, I will drop a map in the description below. But also for a visual, if you go into Soi Buakhao, where the big hospital is on your left-hand side, there's a turning on the right immediately, just past Golden Time. Go down there, that is Soi 15. Or if you know Second Road, go through the Avenue Mall and you'll come through the other side, and again you're going to come across here. I mean, was that a concern? Was that something you thought, well, the location? For me, personally, I can't work in those small bars, those really tiny bars for me. And the other factor for me was that we have Centara across the road. And Golden Tulip, which is now Grand Avenue next door, which had been 6 years in the making, basically. So construction had continued basically the year that I decided to turn into it. So I knew that wasn't going to be too far away. And so that's got 800 condominiums next door. And that was the whole key. If we can give people good service as soon as they're coming out of their hotel rooms or their condos, we're the first bar that they hit, especially with a bit of food, and try to build on from that. And that was my key behind it. Really, if I didn't have the condominiums here, I probably would have reconsidered it, because that was a big point for me. I think one of the things I like about the Korandos and the way you set the bar up here is that you do have girls working here, but it's a far cry from a go-go bar or a girly bar. This is more of a service bar, isn't it? In terms of, like, the girls will always take care of you, but it's not like what you would expect as a girly bar. We're more chilled out, so we tend to try and give our customers good service. If anything in Thailand that lacks a lot of places that people will complain about is people don't understand orders, or they're waiting too long for a drink or something like that. So we try and really specify to give the customer good service, make them feel chilled, not have to buy lady drinks where none of my girls will pressure any of the customers to buy drinks, because most guys, if they're comfortable when they come into a bar, they want to talk to someone. They're a gentleman enough to sort of buy a drink anyway. Without a girl, I'm the same. If I go to other bars and other places, I hate when someone asks me for a drink. Awful. But we know that the girls are working, or that they're there, and you'll tend to buy them a drink even if there's no intentions. So Soi 6 is a different, if people want what they want, they can go to Soi 6. Our bar's a little bit more chilled, try to give a good service, have some really attractive ladies here, and a good place to just chill out and give a good vibe, basically. And I think you've absolutely nailed that, because I've been in there a few times, and I've come to see you and Danny, etc. And I've often watched the girls, and they're very good the way they interact. They're not in your face, but they're also not ignoring you. They've got the balance really good. Look, a lot of the times the guy is more intimidated than the girl to go and speak to someone. So
I try and emphasise to my girls, you know, just give someone 20, 30 seconds, you know, how are you, how's your day, and you will judge whether someone wants to speak to you or not, you know. So, you know, some guys just might want to come in and watch a sporting game or have a quick bite to eat, and then the other guys, they want someone to interact with and talk to. So we try to just give the best possible service without being too enthusiastic, you know, in terms of trying to get drinks and everything like that. But most of our customers are really good, and they're you know, they understand the situation.
One thing I want to touch on before we finish here on part one, and it's a hot topic right now. It's a topic that seems to be being discussed left, right and centre, and it's a very valid discussion. One thing I know that you don't have here, apart from right now because we got them, but it's you don't have live stream, do you?
I don't do live stream. I don't have nothing against live stream. It's just basically it pulls away from the attention in the bar with the customers that are in there, you know. Some places do really well out of it. For me, it's our customers are in the bar, we're trying to give them the best possible service, and we want to concentrate on them at the time.
Sure.
And not only that, some of our customers that come in, they may be, you know, just trying to escape for a quiet drink or a meal or talking to someone, and they don't want to be videoed or they don't want to be seen. And again, it's basically, and also some of my girls just don't want to do it, you know, so they're more confident in actually meeting someone when they come into the bar and talking to them and build a relationship that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things we spoke about a minute ago before we were on camera, and I really thought that was incredibly powerful, was that you actually said to all the girls, do you want to do live stream? Is that something you really want to pursue right now because of the situation?
Yeah, most
and they
of
all
them,
said no.
Most of them, didn't want to do it. And it goes back to even 10 years ago, before Facebook or anything like that, you know, the Pattaya and everywhere has changed in terms of you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, so you don't see as much interaction as what you would have back before those times, but it's had its positive features where you know you can interact and get to meet people. Live stream's just another distraction, so to speak, in terms of it's great because you know people that are back home can see what's going on and everything like that, but it also brings that holiday experience away too from the people that are here and trying to enjoy themselves without having the hassle of, you know, being videoed.
I think one of the biggest criticisms that seems to be on the channel here from everybody that follows our channel, one of the things that they all constantly say, and I have to agree with them, is that they walk into a bar and there's like all the girls huddled in a corner waving and that, and you're like, hello, can I get a beer, please? And
that's it. I don't want my customers... We have the bells. I hate to hear the bells because literally, you know, we have enough staff and girls on that they should be attentive to the customers. You know, it means that they shouldn't have their eyes buried in their phone or the TV, that they should be here to provide a service.
Brilliant.
And, you know, live streaming is just going to take that away, in my opinion, with our bar and what we're trying to really achieve here at Korandos.
You've got kind of like old school rules, haven't you, really? It's like...
Yeah, I do. A little bit, not so much old-fashioned, but traditional in that sense. But, you know, at the end of the day, you want good service and you want to be understood. That's why I'm here, even when the kitchen hours, you know, I always say to the girls, there is a language barrier sometimes, but I'm here. At least, you know, try never to let the customer walk out unhappy. If there is a problem, come and get me, let me fix it so we can before someone, you know, and sometimes it's just a miscommunication of maybe whether it was a wrong order or a beer or a food order, but most people are really, they're pretty considerate and they realise that, you know, it is harder, but there's this concept that we always think, oh, TIT, this is Thailand or something, you know. We try to change that here and try and basically give that good service and basically try and make things more towards a more reliable experience rather than a frustrating one.
Well, I have to say, and I'm not just saying it because we're sat here, but you have definitely achieved that. I mean, you go around town, you know, you speak to people, say Korandos, rocking Korandos, you know, you have got a very good reputation out there, and you know, for obvious reasons which you've touched on today, and I thank you very much for sharing that.
Definitely.
Guys, if you are out there, you know, we're going to come to the end of part 1 now. In part 2, what we will do is Rocky's going to share a lot more information about what Korandos really does offer in terms of the sport, the food, etc, etc. So please, you know, in a few days I will put out part 2, have a watch of that. But you know, for now, if you are coming out here, if you are here even, you know, come down Soi 15. It's only around the corner from all the area that you may well want to hang out in. Come in and say hello to Rocky, come and say hello to Danny, come and speak to the girls. You know, they've got a great menu, they've got lots of sports. If you like your sports, you know, maybe you're an Arsenal fan and you want to watch them beat Spurs again. I don't know, those kind of things happen. But Danny will be watching this now thinking he's going to have me later.
Yes.
But no, in all seriousness, guys, you know, come and check this place out. It really, really is a great bar and definitely one I would recommend coming. Well, it's been great. Thank you very much for part 1.
Thank you very much, Roy.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you coming out.
All right, guys, so that's it from us today here on the Coffee Chat Show in part 1. Part 2 will be out in the very, very near future, so please stay tuned for that. Remember, guys, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when we bring out a new video. Don't forget, check out our members area and also join our Telegram group. There's lots of things going on there, lots of photos, etc, etc, etc. So please check that out. All right, that's it from us, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and please remember, wherever you are in the world, stay safe.